Hey, how's it going everybody? Ted purchased Bold Lens Photography. I bought a $40 slider and a $30 fluid head for doing video, but is it any good? Let's find out. Alright, before we get out and start using this, let's take a look at the build quality and what we have right here. So starting off with the fluid tripod head. This is made by a company called GK. It's called the G06 tripod pan head. $33.99 off of Amazon is what I got this thing for, and it's actually very highly rated and kind of a popular pan head. One thing that I like about it immediately is that it has an Arca Swiss plate on top, and yeah, I put everything I have as Arca Swiss. Usually it's the Manfrotto plates that are really common with the video slider, so I kind of like this. It's good for a hybrid. One thing that's I immediately noticed is that this, when you're tilting, this thing will, well, for one, it's, whoa, that's stiff. Yeah, it doesn't do a smooth tilt, but this only goes like 90 degrees when you come down, so you're gonna need some other way to level it, like a, you know, a bowl mount or something like that. I'm not sure exactly how you would fix that. I actually got this. I'm going to be shooting it with this connected on top. I got a, you know, Arca Swiss plate right there. I'm actually going to have the slider connected right on top of my 410 Manfrotto Junior geared head. And yeah, as far as the movements, it seems like it does move pretty smooth. I have noticed, like right here, it's like catching a little bit if you go slow. So you kind of, oh, this might not be loosened up all the way. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, so it goes pretty smooth. And but one thing I did notice, if you go really slow, there's going to be a few spots where it catches a little bit. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that is. And also this handle right here, there's no way to really adjust or move it or anything. So as you can see, if you want to do a straight shot with this comboed leash, you'd need some sort of riser underneath to get that handle to clear. This is just a real, this is actually a really solid metal build all the way around on this, except for this plastic is just a real cheap plastic, and it does go smooth vertically like that. So overall, the build's actually really quite good. Functionality, it seems pretty decent. You just got to be aware that you're going to need some other way to level it besides this. I think that's not really that uncommon in video heads. I don't know, I'm pretty new to video, as you guys know, so this is actually my first video head. I'm going to be getting, I'm actually looking at getting some nicer Ben Rose later on. It's just not a huge priority right now, but overall it seems pretty good. Can't wait to get out there and test it out. Now underneath here we got our slider, and let me loosen this up for you really quick. So this is a carbon fiber. I'm not sure if it's true or fake carbon fiber or not. It looks real enough, I guess, but for 40 bucks I kind of doubt it's real. I don't know. I guess, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to check that out. But one thing about this is that it has no sort of dampening or anything. It's basically just a little roller. So it's really just as smooth as you can go. It's pretty basic as far as a slider goes. I was playing around with it earlier. It did seem like as long as I, you know, really tried hard, I could get some really nice movements, and, you know, I can turn and do something like a parallax like this. So yeah, as far as the build quality on the slider, this is, again, it's just like the video head. It's really popular on Amazon. Lots of good reviews, lots of people buying it, so it was kind of a no-brainer. As you can see, it's only a 16-inch, so it bounces nice up on a tripod. Now, one thing you'll notice is that this one, it's actually, as you can see here, it's actually, oh, focus, come on. It's made by Neweer, and there's actually another company that makes it, Zecti, Z-E-C-T-I 15.7 portable carbon fiber tripod slider. That's what this is called, but I guess Neweer makes it too, so I guess they just buy it from them and throw their brand on there. So yeah, it's a Neweer tripod, or a Neweer slider. One thing that I'd like to also say is that I noticed this has some play and it makes some weird noise, so you guys can hear it like makes a gushy noise. It's not as bad as it was earlier. I guess maybe it's because it's colder. Oh, there it goes. Listen. Yeah, I'm not even going to tell you what that sounds like, but it sounds gross. And yeah, there's a little bit of play, so this isn't going to be the most super accurate thing, but for 70 bucks, will this get me some halfway decent looking slider shots and some nice smooth pan shots? Well, we'll find out. We're going to take this G85 here with the 12 to 40 millimeter Olympus. I'm going to turn off stabilization, and I'm going to go out and take a few shots, and we'll go ahead and take a look at those once I'm done. So, what did you think of the footage? Go ahead and comment down below. Let me know what you think of this thing right here. Personally, looking at this footage and, you know, just from my own experience of using it, I would say that it's okay. This isn't going to replace or be a substitute for a nice high-end slider or video head, I'd imagine. I could definitely feel, you know, you're kind of getting what you're paying for, but as you could see, the footage wasn't that bad. It was a little jumpy, it was a little jerky, but one thing you have to keep in mind is that I handicapped myself in every way so I could really put these two items to the test. I turned off the stabilization in my camera, which has in-lens and in-body stabilization. Oh, not with that lens, but with my Panasonic lenses. So that was turned off. I did record it in 60 frames a second because I'm going to show you what this looks like slowed down, but everything that I showed you wasn't slowed down at all. And on top of that, it was windy outside. I've never used it before, and my 410 junior geared head is loose. I need to tighten it up with some Allen wrenches. But that thing's all messed up, so it's really like this was really put to the test, and as you can see, the results aren't too bad. If that will work for you and those are the kind of situations you're in, then I think you'll be happy with it. One thing, and I'll show you this in a little bit, with just some stabilization, I didn't use any in-lens or in-body, but I did some testing earlier, and with my stabilization turned on, it was vastly improved. And one other thing that you'll see here in a few minutes is just recording at 60 frames a second and slowing down the footage really helps smooth it out as well, to where you really can get professional results with this in those situations. If it's a situation where you can't slow down your footage, whatever you're using doesn't have any stabilization, you can't do stabilization in post, and especially if you need to get it right the first try, like you're doing some live stuff, you know, using it for interviews or something, then you're probably going to want to spend some more money, get something a little bit nicer. But for, you know, shots like I did, you know, just little cinematic reels, or I think specifically for real estate, this would be fantastic. If you're trying to do real estate on a budget and you can't afford a gimbal yet, I think you could pick up these two and you know, maybe get like a power zoom lens, or get a camera that can do 4K and then just crop, do like a slow crop to simulate kind of that pushing forward movement. I think with those combinations and maybe a good prime to do your you know, your focus pulls and your detail shots, that would be a great little setup for people that are just starting to get into real estate videos. One other note on that while I'm at it, I do own a Zhiyun Crane V2, and that really does not replace a slider, but it pretty much replaces this video head.
it's a heck of a lot smoother, although it's not nearly as comfortable to use. It's a big, huge, heavy hunk of metal with your camera, and it's kind of awkward. I got the dual handles to make it a lot easier, but even then it's still pretty big and heavy. And this could be nice. I might try it on a few houses just because I could get my whole setup going, and then while I'm all set and doing stills, I could just hit the record button, you know, do a quick pan or something like that, or move it over and do a quick slider shot. I might try that, see how I like that. If it seems like it works, I might try it with a better head. This one, it's not too bad, but it's not too great either. One thing of note that I forgot to say earlier is that this slider right here, it was actually about 40 bucks, maybe a little bit more. But like I said, there's another version made by Zekti, exact same thing, and that's actually 50 bucks. So I couldn't actually find the Nuir one. It was gone after I bought it. Maybe I bought the last one, but I'll see if I can find one and get that, put a link down below for you. But anyways, let's go ahead and look at this footage. I got a few things I'm going to show you on that. So let's check out this first clip here. This was just, you know, using the pan to go up smooth, and you can see it's fairly nice and smooth there, but and a little bit of a jerk. But one thing about this is that I actually cheated on this. I don't know if you could tell, but the bird up in the corner, he's actually flying backwards, and that's because I shot this and I reversed the footage because this that video head will actually kind of drop by itself if you let it, and that's another thing. And then you could reverse it and actually get you a smoother look. If you notice this shot, even though it's not perfectly smooth, it's a heck of a lot smoother than this shot, which I didn't do it. I didn't let it drop and reverse it. I just did that by hand. You could see that one was pretty jerky compared to this one. Moving on, we got this slider shot here. You could see it's a little bit jerky, but overall, the slider isn't too bad. The biggest issue with this slider, more than anything, is that there's no dampening at all. So it really only goes as smooth as you do. And, you know, I do not have steady hands. I can't play musical instruments. I can't draw. I'm not really good at anything that requires steady hands. My hands get kind of shaky, especially after moving slow. So maybe if you're the kind of guy that you have the hands to be a tattoo artist or something like that, which I certainly don't. I don't care how much I practice. I could never do that. My hands will not work. So maybe you guys would be better with this. I think if you want to get serious, it's much better to get a motorized slider. Here's another slider shot. This one actually came out halfway decent. You can see it's a little bit jumpy. This one I went up and... yeah, I mean, these are all pretty much jumpy. Here's a good, this I wanted to show you. So this is at 40 millimeters, so an 80 millimeter full frame equivalent on the Olympus Pro lens. So you can see here, it's fairly jumpy when we go at 40, but then on this one, I zoom out at 10. So that's just kind of a little trick there. You know, just like when you're doing your photography, you're going to get more handshake the further you zoomed in. It's the same for this kind of stuff. The further you're zoomed out, the smoother it's going to look. So you can see that just looks a lot smoother just being at 12 instead of 40 millimeters. And then we have another pan here. And just to let you guys know, each one of these shots I've tried to do about as many takes as I could in about a minute. So I didn't want to spend too much time to like try and get it perfect. I wanted to really show you guys some real world scenarios here. And so each one of these is a few tries over about a minute on each of them. And then finally, in this slider shot actually came out really good. So yeah, that's just, and then now that we've seen these, so yeah, they're okay, but it's actually fairly smooth, considering that there's no slow motion, that you know, there was no stabilization on the body or lens or anything like that. Now these two clips that I'm about to show you, I just did the DaVinci Resolve stabilization on them, and I also slowed them down 2 times, and you could see, just take a look at this, how it's still a little jumpy, but it's a heck of a lot smoother. It's not as smooth as my definitely not as smooth as my Zhiyun Crane, but it's not horrible. And then let's look at what we can do with the slider shot here. So, you know, it'll be interesting. I'll try and get some more footage up once I get some more practice. Also, having that 410 Junior being loose was really hurting me too. So I'm thinking maybe with stabilization and something that's a little bit more steady, that I actually be able to get pretty good shots with this. So you can see this is just a lot smoother than the previous one, but still it's far from perfect. Definitely better than what I can do with a crane though, so it's not too bad. But anyways, just my final thoughts on this. I don't think either of these are really going to be a go-to tool for any cinematography pro anytime soon, but these are both great little tools to get you started. You could probably do some real estate. You could probably do a couple easy shots. There's a few other tricks. Oh, for one, with that slider, it actually, let me show you something real quick on that. It actually has a lot of little mounts on it, so you could put a motor on this fairly easily, which is what I'm planning on doing here eventually, and I'm going to get some videos up on that. Another thing too, if you don't want to use a tripod head, you might need some sort of spacer, because I was putting an Arca Swiss plate, and this thing that this plate that holds everything is so big that the knob was hitting it, and I wasn't able to just put an Arca Swiss plate. So I'm going to have to try and figure out a workaround on that. But anyways, it's not too bad of a setup for the price. You might as well give it a shot if you're on a budget and you need to do some video work. But anyways, guys, I hope you like this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, enable notification, and comment down below. If you'd like to support this channel so I can make future content, check out my website, boldlensphotography.com, where I sell fine art prints. You can also donate money at patreon.com/boldlensphotography, and I'll have links below to all my social media accounts. And hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.